Okay, we're good.
We're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this time I'm going to reconvene the Township Committee meeting. And would everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and again, I apologize to folks for that 5 minutes. We were doing a number of things from executive session to having another meeting just now, so thank you for your indulgence. You have the announcements available to read in what Linda has sent out. So at this time, we're open to the public on agenda items. Would someone like to be heard? Okay, seeing none, without objection, we're closed to the public. Approval of minutes. Oh, and by the way, for the record, Mike was here for our executive session. He's still trying to wrap up that meeting I stepped out of, so he'll be back in a moment. Approval of minutes. Does anyone have any questions or suggested changes?
No. Nope.
Okay, Linda suggested we do these in two parts, so may I have a motion to approve the minutes for the June 12, 2025 regular session?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the July 30th, 2025 special meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And may I have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 10, 2025, both executive and regular session minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, and I need to abstain because I was out of state and couldn't attend. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we have, that's 3 in favor, and I'm abstaining because I wasn't present. Okay, anything else we have there on the minutes? Did I cover them all, Linda?
You got them all, thanks.
Okay, great. Okay, we're on item 10 on the agenda, special discussions session. Landis Cemetery, Bob Leith wanted to speak. Bob, please come up. Welcome.
Mind if I sit?
Oh, please do. Just stay close to that mic if you would. And for the record, just give us your name for the record.
Okay,
And
I'm Bob Leith. I was the past chairman of the cemetery committee for the Hunterdon County Historical Society.
excellent.
Ray Simon, who's now the current chairman, was supposed to be here, but short notice he couldn't make it, so I apologize for that. You took the cemetery possession in October of 2023. Before that, 10 years before that, Ray and I had worked on that cemetery for about 10 years. Just, and during the winter, no ticks, we'd come in for an hour or so and we cleaned it up and mapped it out and did all that. Now that you've taken possession, everything's changed. We can't go back there anymore because you own the property. Because no one owned the property, we were able to do whatever we wanted to do. So we have to come up with a new plan, and the plan would be that we would get members of the Hunterdon County Historical Society, East Amwell, and then the preservation group here, and make a plan of what we want to do with that cemetery to present to you as a possibility. In order to do that, we need to be able to visit the site, and so I'm here just to ask you for permission for us to go back to the site, walk around, bring people there, show them so that we can then decide what we want to do. So that's
So can you tell us a little bit more about if you were to go there, what exactly you would want to do? It's to come up with a plan of.
a lot of people haven't seen it. It's in rough shape, and so we would have to go back. I'd show them some of the headstones out of there. I'd be happy to take you guys around too if you want to see it, and then say what would this site be good for. I think people are thinking tours, that we take tours. What's the best way to preserve it? Do we have a grass? And there's a lot of cleanup that has to be done, so all that stuff.
Okay, so let me just give an update for folks too. So the cemetery unfortunately is landlocked, right? And there's a private landowner who owns the property around it. And I've been in contact with him over this issue.
You're talking about Brian?
Yeah, Brian Giles is, right,
Okay.
owns this large property around it.
Right.
And Brian and his folks have been maintaining it. They go in now regularly and weed whack it and clean it up, and I've seen that like several months ago. So the issue of access is difficult because while we own the cemetery, we don't own Brian's property.
Right.
So, I don't know that he's in a position to, create some formal access to the cemetery.
Right.
However, if you call them up, I know he'd be willing to talk with you, because I imagine that he might not be averse to, letting a few folks from the County Historical Society take a look and come up with ideas. But my understanding in chatting with him is, at this time, he wasn't ready to do any, like, formal kind of access kind of thing, or figure that out.
I wouldn't expect that. We have an informal agreement with Margaret Case, and then Joseph actually helped us clean a lot, and so
Yep.
over the 10 years, we became friendly, and
Yep.
it was very agreeable. I would expect the same thing could happen with Brian.
Yeah, and
He could be on.
he's
the
a
committee.
very friendly and good guy, and he really cares about the community. So,
Right.
I think if you would, just reach out to him, I bet you he'd take your call and just ask him about that. Again, I think if what you're proposing are for a few folks to go out there, part of the Historical Society, and come up with ideas, my guess is Brian wouldn't be against that.
Yeah, and, if he's weed whacking, that's one thing. If he's cutting the grass, he could be cutting headstones, and we don't want that. But anyway, what I'm looking from you guys is it okay for us, if we get access from Brian, is it okay to walk on your property?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we'd have an objection to you guys doing that. Maybe if Brian says it's okay for you to access it, you could just reach out. I mean, folks can chime in, but I don't know that we'd have a problem with that, with you being on our property if you can get to there for that purpose you described.
And then we'd come back to you in a couple months with some kind of proposal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great resource, and Brian's got a lot going on with the various properties, but like I said, he's a good guy and he's very community minded. So I think long term, I have every confidence that things can work out that'll be helpful.
Good.
Well, thank you for coming and your interest
you.
and
Thank you. Good luck.
yeah. Rick,
Not to speak out of turn, Dante, but I'm gonna speak out of turn.
go ahead.
We looked into that landlocked issue a little bit when this first came up. New Jersey has an easement by necessity law that if your parcel is landlocked and you can demonstrate that it was part of a larger parcel that's not landlocked, in this case, the Giles property, you can get an easement by necessity across that larger parcel that's not landlocked. So we may be able to get an easement to that cemetery if we can demonstrate that that cemetery was once part of the Giles property. John Allen, I believe it was John Allen, did a pretty thorough analysis of the history of this, showing where it started and how it got to where it is. So we might want to chat with John Allen, get that analysis, see which parcel gave birth to this, and then maybe we could talk to Frank about pursuing an easement by necessity. Because if the goal here is to make this cemetery, I don't want to say a tourist attraction, but an area of interest where the Historical Society could give tours, it would be nice to have an easement and not have to rely on the largesse of the property owner to let you use their property, because we have a friendly property owner today, but you may not have a friendly property owner tomorrow. I could reach out to John Allen and ask him if he still has the work he did. I'm sure he does. I think I may even have a copy of it, and we could go from there.
Okay, thanks for that comment. Okay, anyone else want to comment on that? Okay, so that's the Landis Cemetery item, and thanks again, Bob. Next item is really an update on discussions, border roads with Delaware Township. In response to resident concerns about down trees and trees of concerns on Dunkard Church Road, I contacted JCP&L and got them to send out their forestry unit to assess that situation. Hopefully, they'll be able to help. Also, I want to mention that Delaware Township Committee has not responded to my numerous requests that the mayor and the deputy mayor contact me to work out maintenance on border roads issues. So that's unfortunate. Also, by way of update, our township attorney, Frank, wrote to Delaware Township's attorney to, one, correct the record on a number of maintenance issues that the other attorney had raised, and two, to ask their attorney to withdraw the advice that he had given to Delaware's mayor and deputy mayor not to call me back to try to work out border maintenance issues. It remains our position that residents in both towns deserve to have their elected officials work to solve issues, especially the issues that affect them, and we're getting residents telling us that these issues affect them, and which doesn't surprise me at all. So again, I'm calling upon Delaware Township to contact me without further delay. So that's all we have for discussion items listed, nothing in 11.
Am I allowed to comment on that?
Sure,
I
we'll-
was the one who came.
Yeah, come on up here, we'll take it out of turn because I know you've been interested. Please, come on up, give your name and,
Absolutely. I'm Terry Mitchell. I live at 19 Dunkard Church Road, and I was here at the July 30th meeting. A couple of things have also come up as I drive down my road, which is a hazard, as you all know by the photos that I gave to you at July 30th meeting. In addition, they mowed Delaware Township side and left East Amwell unmowed. So I did send that, those pictures as well. We still need to know who owns the poles and wires from 17 Dunkard Church Road to Route 579. Jenna, I know you had mentioned that you might try to find out who owns those poles and wires, and I just wanted to know if there was an update on that.
No, I don't have an update. We did reach out to the power company, but it was in regards to the trees and the wires and stuff. I forgot to follow up on that, so I will do that
Okay.
tomorrow right away. Yeah.
All right, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know about the mowing, but the mowing needs to be done too, because as you're going around the bend, it's so high. And then I'm wondering, when it snows, are they just gonna plow Delaware Township and we have to find our own way out?
yeah.
I don't know, it's just, it seems a bit petty, but that's just my opinion. So I don't know if they bring it up at their township meeting, but since no one reached out to me to let me know that they were going to that meeting, I would have been willing to go along. But I did not attend because I felt that my opinion as a homeowner on the East Amwell side would not be as effective from, the standpoint of our township officials. So I'm just hoping that that could take place at some point.
So Terry, also just by way of update, when you raised the issue of the grass and things that needed mowing, I did send a message out to Jason Silverthorne, our DPW superintendent, and Mike Dendis on the township committee to have them look into see what's going on out there as well. So we'll try to figure things out, and overall, it's important for towns to talk. I really want the mayor, deputy mayor to talk to me because we have to work out how the two towns maintain the roads.
Right.
We have to work out what happens with trees that are issues. We have to work out mowing and other concerns.
Right.
Push comes to shove, the towns can go back to just handling half of the road, but at this point, we don't have assurance that they're doing the maintenance that's required under the agreement, so it's kind of a mess, but we aren't
Well,
gonna.
those trees are number one, because since one of them fell a week after I came to the meeting, it's dangerous. Someone's gonna get hurt or killed on that road. And then it really will be a difficult situation between the two townships, and I really hope that doesn't happen.
Well, hopefully the power company, when they go out there, can be of assistance. If not, we'll have to take a look at that
Did
as
they give
well.
you a timeline, or?
They immediately sent it to their forestry unit that was supposed to be going out. I heard that they were going out,
Okay.
so perhaps they just have or are about to. Hopefully JCP&L will report back, and we'll stay on top of it.
All right, I do appreciate you getting back with your emails,
Yeah.
though.
And
Yes,
if,
you're
you.
welcome.
All right.
you
I
want,
appreciate
you can
you.
reach out to me. If my colleagues don't object, I'll go to the meeting with you.
All right,
Just email me the when, and if I'm available, I'll go,
all right,
unless anybody's protesting.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go too.
Okay, so we're clear to go to item 12 on the agenda, ordinance number 25-15 for second reading. Linda?
An ordinance amending various sections of the Code of East Amwell Township to permit cottage food operators in the township.
Okay, so as Jenna presented last week when she presided at the meeting, this is an ordinance that would permit cottage food operators in the township. You should know that our number of folks requested action on this. It was sent to the planning board. The planning board went through this in detail, looked at the obligations of the state, of our local Board of Health, and the result of that is the ordinance that was introduced at the last meeting. So at this time, let's open this up to the public for comments. Would anyone like to comment on this? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, seeing none, we're, without objection, closed to the public. Anyone on the township committee have comments or questions or anything?
Nope.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 25-15?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Anyone want to add anything in summary on this? I mean, I'll just point out that, you know, it's interesting that the state of New Jersey passed a statute, you know, allowing cottage food industry, and the state of New Jersey accepts a responsibility for ensuring that folks who take advantage of this follow their Board of Health requirements. So there are no health requirements that fall down to East Amwell on it. And there are very specific kind of limitations about what can be made. It's essentially there are things that aren't perishable, and there's some rules about how it applies. And it was this concept was approved by the word from our chair of the Board of Health. So just some of the concepts about it. So let's see if this allows some folks to do some good commerce in a manner according to what was just passed, that won't have an impact on the community, that won't you know, deprive well water, that won't cause traffic problems, et cetera. Those are all sorts of limitations that are built into it. So, Jen.
And we also included odor and smells too. That was
Yep.
the add-on last time that was recommended to us, so.
Thank
And I think this is good because we had residents coming in asking us about it, and I think it was a good response, because I never heard of it
Good.
until people would come in, so.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for adding that. I mean, so we basically had the planning board and we went through the various ways that it could impinge on residents to make sure there were protections. So that's just a summary for folks that weren't following this issue. Item 13 on the agenda, ordinance 25-16. Linda?
Capital ordinance to authorize the purchase of new equipment for Marion F. Clausen Memorial Park in the Township of East Amwell, County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, and the expenditure of $45,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for financing thereof.
Okay, so by way of general introduction, you know, this is a capital ordinance that would set aside funds to install a sunshade canopy over the playground equipment, because we got a grant. I'll turn to Al to give some more details, because he did a terrific job in hunting out this grant opportunity, something that,
It's a team effort.
yeah, but he took the lead on it. And again, the reason why it's important, you know, that individuals like Al step forward and get this money is because if you think about it, this will not only benefit families and the kids who are out there so that they're, and you know, not in the hot sun, but he's gotten us to do this at no cost to taxpayers, right? Because we've gotten grants, and so due to his toil and effort, you know, we're really doing everything we can to make sure that we're protecting our taxpayer while providing services. So I know you're a modest guy, but I wanted folks to know that. So please, if you want to give some more
I mean,
details.
The Park and Rec committee that I'm the liaison for discussed this, and you know, I went and actually hung out at Clausen Park and started talking to some parents. And this is for like where the younger children play, and they were like, "Can you plant trees here?" I'm like, "No, but we're looking into getting a canopy." Filed for the grant, and lo and behold, they approved it, so I'm excited to start moving forward and breaking ground and pleasing our residents. That's what it's all about.
Excellent. So,
Thanks to everybody.
yep. At this time, we're open to the public for comment. Yes, Francis?
Hey, I support the canopy, but I'm a little confused. You're saying at no cost, but it says $45,000 from the
It's a
capital improvement.
reimbursable grant.
Oh, so you spend the money, then
Then
it'll go back in
They
your
give it-
whatever.
They give it back to us, correct.
And you're taking it out of capital as opposed to like the open space, or
Yeah, however.
however,
it moved
is
into
that just
capital.
an
Yeah, so-
accounting thing, shells and peas?
So the way that works for things that are fixtures, right? They're not short-term purchases. They go into the capital ordinance. So when we get funds available to us, we put that into the capital fund, and it's segregated there so that when we get the money, it can be fully accountable and
it'll all come
traceable to
back.
the state. So we provide, when we do the work, we then provide not only proof that the work was done properly, but the receipts, and
Yep.
then money comes from the capital fund for this, so that they have all the accounting, the state signs off, and we're done.
Okay, now there's two playgrounds. Are you doing just one or
Just
both?
just the one,
The one closest to the pavilion or the
Correct.
one for the store? Okay.
yeah, the younger children.
So the older kids get to roast?
They get to burn it, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll be next year, we'll see.
Well, you can see, you'd be amazed how expensive
It
these
is,
are.
it's crazy.
So that when Al found this, one of the things that we were bound and determined to do was, if we're providing this, to figure out a way that it doesn't hit us in the wallet. So, yeah, it was like 45, I mean, what was it?
Yeah, originally it was 37, and then
Yeah.
it jumped up to, 43, so,
I know, I've gone shopping lately. You get
Yeah.
a little dinky box and it's $40.
Yeah.
I know,
Oh, I'll find the nickel to give you back. Come on,
yeah.
it's just dozed.
Okay, thanks for your comment. Anyone else, comment? Okay, seeing none without objection, we're closed to the public. Al, may I have a motion to approve ordinance 25-16?
so moved.
Second?
All right, thanks for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Item 14 on the agenda, ordinance 25-17, second reading. Linda?
An ordinance deleting section 120-7 of the East Amwell Municipal Code and incorporating recycling committee duties into the powers and duties of the East Amwell Environmental Commission.
So this ordinance would merge the recycling committee functions into the environmental commission. Jenna, you want to present on this to get a background?
Yeah, we discussed this for a while. A lot of the members on the recycling committee are also members of the environmental commission. As everybody knows, it's hard to get volunteers, but we have good volunteers in both. The responsibilities are really similar, so because an environmental commission is a state statute, the recycling gets folded into it. But they're gonna do the same stuff and everything like that. It's just makes it a little easier for quorums and everything like that.
Yep. So the groups want it, makes sense, and same folks are willing to do this work, which we appreciate. And Frank, I appreciate your work on creating the document to do it and making sense of it and writing it up. Any other comments before we? Jenna, do you want to make the motion to adopt ordinance 25-17?
Yeah, so do we need a public hearing?
Oh, we do. Do you want to do a public hearing? Okay. So public comment at this time? Anyone? Going once, twice? Okay. But you were quite proper in the procedure. Thank you. So without objection, we're closed to the public. And now, would you like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 25-17?
I would, so moved.
Excellent. Anyone in second?
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Item 15 on the agenda, ordinance number 25-18.
Capital ordinance to authorize the facility improvements at the municipal building in the Township of East Amwell, County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, and the expenditure of $170,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for the financing thereof.
Okay, this ordinance, as Linda said, it's a capital ordinance, would authorize facility improvements for us, municipal facility improvements such as repairs that we need to a parking lot, fixing our ramp and the stairs, as you can see on the way up, have been in need of repair. We've got problems with the exterior of the building, including the facade, which is having problems. These are very costly things. And we got these funds through a request that I made to the state. Senator Turner came through for us and for our taxpayers, and we're very appreciative of that. $170,000 is a lot of money for our town. I mean, you I'm sure sat through the budget process. $170,000 is a lot. But again, this is just another of the ways that the Township Committee has been working very hard to deliver not only services but benefits to our taxpayers. So I'm particularly happy that we got so much money from the state to do these needed repairs. This time, let's open to the public, see if there are any comments on this ordinance. Yes, Andrea?
Sorry. Andrea Bonnet, East Amwell resident. I just have a silly question. For years, I've been coming to these meetings and looking at a bunch of Venetian blinds or whatever they are behind you, and there's some missing, and there's a hole, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm wondering if you could just take a tiny bit of that $170,000 and fix that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate the comment, thank you. Francis, you raise your hand as well?
Yep.
I don't even know you can buy Venetian blinds in there, right? Where's the way? Show me the Wayback Store and we'll find them.
Same question as before, so this $170,000 is gonna go back into it.
It's a reimbursable grant,
It's a reimbursable,
Yes.
and so that it will be free-ish.
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
Because
No,
it comes
not
out of
even
one
ish.
pocket.
It will be free,
to the
completely
state
free,
and to-
100% free, totally free.
You pay taxes legally?
I do.
But I'm glad
this
it comes
is
back
money
here
we're getting
instead of the
without any
Bergen.
taxation from the state, right? I mean, realize when we got an appropriation from the state of New Jersey, right? So they are giving that money to us. All we have to do is to use it for these things, but again, to do it in a manner that takes care of all of their accounting issues. And so, same exact thing as when we got this other grant. Goes into a capital account. We end up doing the work. We share the receipts. We apply the money. Al's gonna be the grant administrator on this one as well.
And you'll get a better contractor than the guy who put foam and faux
Yeah.
on the front of
We
it.
need,
That's
we need three different, bids, and
three
I have
different
a
bid.
meeting
Lois.
tomorrow morning to start the process, so.
Lowest responsible bidder.
And things in the contract to where there's guarantees for X, Y, and Z. Because I remember the first time they fixed up this and it kind of got cacad. The advantages. I'm working on 31 years now. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Any other comments? Okay, seeing none without objection, we're closed to the public. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 25-18?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes.
And I just want to say, I know it's a team effort and everything, but thank you, Dante, for it, because I know you're the one that put the letter through to Senator Turner and everything, so thanks.
Thank you. Item 16 on the agenda, ordinance number 25-19. Linda?
An ordinance amending Chapter 86, Historic Preservation of the Municipal Code of the Township of East Amwell, County of Hunterdon, State of New Jersey, to add a new section, 86-11, entitled Historic Districts.
Okay, this ordinance would designate local historic districts. As you may have heard from previous discussions here and at the planning board, the town has federal historic districts, but designating these areas as local historic districts will make the town eligible for historic preservation grants. Overall, historic preservation is important for the town, and making ourselves eligible for grant is important for the town and the taxpayers. I think, Jenna, you worked hard on this one. Do you have anything you want to add on this one?
No, I don't. You
Okay.
set it up, yeah.
Thank you for your efforts in working on writing, presenting that. Let's go to, let's see. It's open to the public. Do you have?
No, it's just,
no?
we're
No comments? 'Cause
introducing.
this is first? Okay. So, any questions or comments from members of Township Committee?
Yeah, I just want to say the Historic Preservation Committee has been, working hard on this for, I think, over a year now, trying to move this forward. So I'm glad we're able to get this next piece changed, because it opens it up opens us up for a lot of additional grant opportunities that we didn't have before. And we can see from all the grant money we're bringing in,
Yep.
you know, for these other projects, this is a nice source of money. So this gives us the ability to get more funds.
Excellent. Okay, so we're at the introduction phase, so may I have a motion to introduce ordinance 25-19 with a public hearing date of September 11, 2025?
So moved?
Thank you.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carries unanimously. Item 17, ordinance 25-20, Linda?
An ordinance amending the municipal code of the Township of East Amwell, Chapter 35, salaries and compensation.
Okay, this ordinance is one that establishes positions and salary ranges for positions, generally. We need to amend it at this time to do a couple of things: establish 2 new positions, handle some increases to court salary that are required by our joint court agreements with various towns that use the joint court, and to revise certain ranges in the prior ordinance to meet current needs. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 25-20 with a public hearing date of September 11, 2025?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes unanimously. Consent agenda, folks can read the items here. May I have a motion to approve resolutions 2025-111 through 2025-120?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Okay, number 19 on the agenda, other resolutions. 2025-121, resolution awarding regional cooperative purchasing contract to MRC through ESC&J, contract 24/25-01. This is a resolution to award a purchasing contract to MRC to do the sunshade canopy project. Al, do you want to speak to this issue?
What, I'm sorry?
Uh,
I'm
Ni-
way, I'm reading way
19?
ahead.
19 on the agenda, first, 2025.
21?
Yes.
It's the same thing we just talked about, correct? The shade-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunshade, yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
this is
MRC
This
was
is
the,
just awarding the contract to the vendor.
yeah. Again, this is the vendor that built the playground. The shade canopy, I believe, has a warranty of 15 years, and we're gonna, go with them. It's
Okay.
pretty simple.
Okay.
Do we have an idea of when it's gonna get installed?
Well, I think that we need to advertise it next, right?
Yeah, we
Put
have
it
to, I have to advertise a legal ad, and then I think it's
Couple weeks.
20 days from the time we
Right, and as
advertise
soon as
for a
that's
capital
done,
ordinance.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
So
know. I
sometime in
don't know.
September?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know how long it took to
Yeah,
fill
knock,
this.
knock, 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 knock. Yeah,
Okay, great.
it'll be great for next summer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, September's not
Yeah,
good for me too,
yeah.
yeah.
Any other questions of Al on this item?
Nope.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-121?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second? Oh, sorry, John.
Okay.
I want to have one on the record.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Ms.
passes
Casper Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Enton,
unanimous.
Yes.
Mr. Nardi,
Yes.
Mr. Dendis,
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. 2025-122, resolution authorizing an application to obtain a grant for the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for public facility improvements. All right, so this would be the resolution to authorize a grant application for municipal facility improvements. Anyone want to speak to that one? Is that a?
That's the $170,000 grant,
That's a
right?
170,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's just still, we don't have any contractor anything
Nothing
in
yet.
place, so
Nope.
it's not much
Right.
to
Guess
talk
I'll have
about,
the meeting
right?
tomorrow morning
Yeah.
to start pushing the ball.
It's just the authorization to apply for the grant, which
Yeah,
we're
that's not, I
required
don't
to
think
do.
there's much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Okay, may I have a motion to approve resolution 2025-122?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom,
Yes.
Ms. Enton,
Yes.
Mr. Nardi,
Yes.
Mr. Dendis,
Yes.
Mayor DePiero.
Yes. All right, resolution 2025-123, which is a resolution authorizing an application to the Hunterdon County Law Enforcement Grant. Al,
Yep.
this one you'd like to present on,
Sure.
please?
Yep, I applied for a grant for $10,000 to see if we can reduce speed and safety on our roads in East Amwell. So grant's in. Once I get the resolution, I'll email it tomorrow to county, and we're good to go. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get that $10,000 and see if we can keep our roads safer.
Yep. This is part of our larger effort for traffic calming throughout the township. And here, you know, we, as you know, been trying to get traffic signs in downtown Ringgoes, but also on Wurtsville Road, try to deal with some of these issues. While we were working on this in various ways, it came to our attention that the county was making some county monies available for law enforcement. So if you have a police department, you could get grants, but the county also said if your municipality does not have a police force, you could still apply for up to $10,000 in traffic signage. So that fit right into our ongoing effort, and I appreciate Al's work in following up then and doing the application. So may I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-123?
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Resolution 2025-124, which is a resolution authorizing New Jersey State Contract T0896, asphaltic oil and aggregate surface treatment. Mike, is this one that you present on, or?
Not much to present. It's chip sealing resolution, I guess.
Yep. What's
It'll
your
be
bailiwick,
posted.
so-
Don't drive on the road. It'll get tar on your car,
Dings, yeah.
but it all gets well notified and posted. This is for Willisowitz, I believe.
It's for 3, High Mowing Way,
Okay.
Meadowlark, and Willisowitz.
Okay.
Willisowitz, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Linda, that's perfect. All right, so that's for good cause. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-124?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Resolution 2025-125, which is 2025 Municipal Parks and Recreation Grant Program, Trust Fund Application, Municipal Endorsing Resolution. This is a resolution to authorize a grant application for the 2025 Hunterdon County Municipal Parks and Recreation Grant. Jenna, was that one that you worked on?
I think I picked this
Or
up.
Mike?
Yeah, I tossed it over to Mike. to
Thank you,
work
Mike.
on.
So I spoke to the county today. I spoke to the engineer today. They're gonna get the grant in, hopefully by the deadline. If we can't get it in by the deadline, they're gonna give us a little bit of wiggle room, but, I think I don't think we're gonna have a problem. I talked to Rob. He's gonna pick up everything tomorrow, Linda, when he comes here to meet with Jason. So.
Oh, okay.
He's basically, this is a continuation to try to get more money for the tennis courts. Last year, we got 75,000. I don't remember what the max dollar amount this year. Do you guys remember what it was? Was it?
It's at least 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year was like 150 max, and they gave us 75. I don't remember what the dollar amount. Of course, we'll put in for the max, see what they give us. But I think this is the plan to collect more money for the tennis courts. In
It
fact,
is, yep.
that family that I was talking to in the hallway, they thought there was a recreation meeting tonight, and they wanted to ask about new pickleball courts.
Yep.
And have some suggestions. So.
Yep. Yeah, residents.
So
have
there's definitely
expressed
interest in those tennis courts are well used, and it's time. They're probably, if I had to guess, 30 years old, if not older.
Yep.
So they're in great need of repair.
Great need.
So hopefully we can get some more money and start working on that for the spring of 26. Hopefully we can do something.
I appreciate your work on this. Again, I mean, you can see all the applications we're filing everywhere to get grant funding. So I appreciate that. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-125?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Okay, does anyone have new business, item 20?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yes.
And I forgot some people might have noticed, the jug handle, like catty corner from us has had like some ground disturbed and everything. So goodness, I think it was 2023, Allison Kavchuk with the Environmental Committee, did some work with the state, and they're she got the state to agree to put in, pollinator gardens there. Cause we don't own that, it's the state's taking care of that and everything. So after 2 years, they're finally doing that, so that's why you can see the marks there, the ground being moved. It's no cost to the residents, we don't have to maintain it, but it should look a little nicer over there, and always good to have a pollinator garden somewhere. So thanks to Allison Kavchuk for doing that, and it just took a little while, but they got it together.
Yep, thanks, Allison, indeed. Okay, any other items of new business? I think folks will raise, I don't know. Okay, we're on to item 21 on the agenda, approval of bills of the evening. May I have a motion to approve the August 14, 2025 bills of the evening?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Casper Bloom?
Yes.
Ms. Enton?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Dendis?
Yes.
Mayor DePiero?
Yes. Item 22, approval of administrative reports. May I have a motion to approve the administrative reports?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor? Aye. All right, that passes unanimously. Correspondence, folks can review from the record Linda released. Item 24, open to the public. Anyone like to make comment at this time? Yes, and Andrea, looked like you were first.
Andrea Bonnet, a 50-year resident of East Hamilton Township. When I ended my 8 years on the Township Committee 20 years ago, we had our own zoning officer and our own construction official. Residents were protected from illegal development, and the construction official's office fees paid for the entire cost of that office. Soon after my term ended, I was talking to a Township Committee member who said they were cutting back on enforcement because they didn't want to lose votes. Now, we're talking again, 2005 or something, it's a long time ago. Over these 20 years, both Republicans and Democrats have weakened the protections. Proud of saving money and also proud of not annoying residents. Unfortunately now, some people have figured out that there is almost no enforcement of municipal ordinances, county health requirements, etc. And I would just like to say on the record, I think this is both sad and scary. Thank you.
So Andrea, I respect your opinion, but I completely disagree with it. Any complaint that comes to us gets forwarded to the proper authority.
Well, next month I'll have more to say about that if my issue is not resolved.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Francis?
Francis Gavigan, local pain in the ass. I'd like to applaud Al for and Dante for all your efforts in getting grant money. And I'd like to ask you to add to your list of grants to get, if you can get grants from the county or God knows where for police activities or whatever, to get some money for the local rescue squad that is very heavily supported by the municipality. And I'll go collect signatures if I need to. I talked to you, Mike, back in March about all the stuff about what they didn't get paid, 24, whatever, and it's come up and, and there's been a lot of back and forth. I never heard anything. I've kept my mouth shut, but I got a fresh tiki torch in the back of my car. So if this isn't resolved for the squad to get the support that they deserve, there will be a lot of people packing this room. It is probably none of you has ever ridden in an ambulance. I have several times and will again. The fact that you have people that you know and people that you trust and neighbors that are spending their time and effort to do what they do for their neighbors and not looking to grab a dime or a dollar, or probably 10 by now, is something to be applauded and honorable. The fact that they're working with Lambertville to get more coverage or to cover one another, the fact that all along they have been paying out of their pocket Raritan if they did a coverage, so there's no harm to the taxpayers or the residents of Raritan is something that they should be thanked and applauded for. I firmly believe in the separation of church, state, and government from nonprofits and private people, whether it's USAID or the military or things like that. They are a private organization. They are a nonprofit, so that if we give to them, we get a deduction. And I think the only thing that the township should be doing, and I'm gonna try to keep it low key, is resolve it and go back and fix the problem and stop looking for ways to spend more money for somebody else who's looking to build a new rescue building closer to East Amwell. We've got good people doing the right things and saving people's lives, and that does not mean that they're attorneys or they're corporate or they're anything else, and they won't have necessarily the accounting or the type A personality skills that get you elected, or people knocking on your doors asking, can you go and do something for me? Let's work as a community, come together and support our rescue squad and give them the pittance, or come up with some mechanism to where they can be independently funded. Now, they're not required the way the fire company is, so there's a fire district tax. But I suspect that 1/100th of a penny would more than cover what they need, and there might be some mechanism to do that. And I intend to go to Trenton to start looking for that kind of an option. And Mr. Brunel, you may also have insights into something like this. I can't believe that with all the rescue squads that have either closed or have survived in Hunterdon County, that there isn't a mechanism to give them the basics that they need to do the good work they do. And, you know, I agree. Senator Turner, her office, they work hard, and she's probably going to be the first office I'm going to knock on the door of. But there are others. And there is a need. It is a lot more essential to have neighbors taking care of neighbors and there when you need them. You know, there are people that aren't even on duty that listen for the calls and the tones, and if there's something down by me, I get a call, are you all right? Is everything all right? We noticed there was a fire, or things like that. That's what people do, and that's how we can work together. Not to go to war, or not to shame or blame or whatever, but it needs to be fixed. And I find it hard, and I'm going to want to look at that audit to find that how you could close 2024 and get through an audit without having paid that budgeted $25,000. Something's not there. The squads was getting money back when Floyd Minchek was alive, and I think on the township committee. You probably knew him. I only met him once or twice, and that's more than 25 years ago. It's something to do because it is the right thing to do, and as our elected officials, please take care of the East Amwell squad, and there are people in Raritan who love them too, although they got taken away. So, your police report? Are there ever any cops on Wurtsville Road ticketing anybody? I don't know if they do anything in the village. You've got the shared service with Delaware, I imagine. But the state police are pretty useless. They just go this little stretch and they try to grab people from Pennsylvania. But they are our police force. And they should also be looking out for the safety of people and animals and the wildlife that is well above. And if you've ever seen what happens to a car and to people and an animal, that is hit by a car speeding down Wartsville Road. I can show you the picture of the horse that the AHO killed of mine. The roof of the car was tented up like that, and her profile was stenciled into it. Not acceptable. We need to have at least some modicum of law and order. I see the people fly down 579 and they do the speedy turns down 179. You know, that's at least, you know, and I know things are going to get better with the state, and I appreciate the work that you're doing with trying to calm the village and things like that. But we really need to, you know, help our neighbors and come up with a way to get the funding that is needed, and it's probably more than the 25,000, which is the same amount of money it was in 2000, you know, when the millennium turned. So, you know, I don't mean to call you out, Mike, but you know, and all that other stuff. I saw you talking to guys, so I'm sure you're working on it or they're working on it. But
So I'll answer because we are communicating. I'm not, because, Rob Connor is a new president of the rescue squad. I met with him before this meeting.
yeah,
We have an open line of communications with him now. All right, I'm not prepared from here to address all the issues. All right, and that was at his request. We don't want to make. Him and I are going to meet again, and I'm not going to discuss my reasons where we are right now without him or members being present. Okay, there are reasons why this money hasn't been given to them, and Rob knows what they are, and others know what they are. It's not. I don't think it's time to bring it here because he's not here to dialogue with that. All right, so I'm going to leave that conversation where it is. You mentioned about the state police on Wirtsville. They do respond. I do call and say, hey, can you send a car? They typically do. I've asked for follow-ups with them. When I was a police officer, if you called and said, I need a car on Old York Road, a police report was written, everything we did was documented, and the chief of police can hand that to the mayor and say, we spent 40 hours on Barley Sheaf Road and we stopped 80 cars and wrote 40 tickets. The state police do not do that.
I know.
They don't keep those type of records. All right, and it's frustrating. It was frustrating when I was a police officer, and it's frustrating in this role I have now. We were dealing with a parking issue in town, and to resolve it, I'm like, okay, let me have the reports of what you did every time we called. They're like, that's not how we do it. It's just, they just go out and handle it, and there's no record. So I don't have a record of how many hours or how many tickets they write on Wirtsville Road. But one thing that came up, I know Al or one of you guys applied for this $10,000 grant. I was hoping we can use that money for overtime, for personnel, to pay a trooper, pay a Delaware cop to patrol our roads and write tickets to slow these speeders down. It appears that we can't do that. It's not for personnel because towns that have a police department are getting tens of thousands of dollars for personnel, for overtime to cover this. I believe I brought it up last month or the month before, that there may come a point that I may make a motion and ask the Township Committee if they will spend some of our money to hire troopers or Delaware cops to patrol these roads, but we're waiting to see if some of these traffic calming things are going to help. I could tell you from 30 years in this business, there's never going to be enough cops, and there's always going to be speeders, and the cop is never there when you need them, right? And I am sorry for your horse. I had a cow get hit on Old York Road literally by a Rolls Royce. Like a cow that gets out on Clover Hill. You guys know that farm over there. Those cows get out all the time. So I know the damage these large animals do. I mean, the damage that these deer do to motorcyclists. I mean, a lot of the deaths are from a deer hitting a motorcyclist, just jumps off the curb and hits them. So I'm aware of that. I appreciate your passion about the rescue squad, but there's things that have to still be talked about. All right? You're welcome to audit all the books from 23, 24. Rob knows why that money wasn't given to them. The treasurer knows why that money wasn't given to them. But it's not something to talk about here tonight because they're not here to dialogue with that.
That's fine with them not being here. I'm expecting that there will be at least some kind of a reporting or community outreach with them or whatever by the next meeting or a special meeting or something, because none of this has been communicated to us. I've been at all the meetings when the guy from Raritan was here, and this, and coverage, and New Hope, and all of this other kind of stuff. And, you know, we deserve information, and we deserve resolution. And it's not an unreasonable thing to ask. And while we're at it, if anybody who's watching this or around would say thank you or reach out to the squad to see what they need, that would be appreciated. Because, you know, it's the right thing to do.
Thank you. Anyone else have public comment? All right, without objection, we're closed to public comment. On the, Mike, on the traffic issue, I also spoke with Jason to ask him to use one of the speed display
We have a speed radar
signs,
thing,
yeah. So he's gonna put it up, the folks should know, on Wurtsville Road, and we'll move it around to let drivers know what speed they're going, to educate them, and also hopefully discourage them from speeding on that road. So a number of things we have in play, we'll continue to work on them. Any other comments from folks? Okay, any other business before we adjourn? Okay, seeing that there's no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Janet, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thanks, everyone.